So it's more a testimony than a preaching. So let's say it's a preachimony. It's a testimony that I have. Of course, you know what happened. Alam niyo naman na we have this current battle, this spiritual battle that we have. And I've titled it like, Fight with God's Might. Do not fight the fight using your own might, your own understanding. Kailangan ay gamitin natin ang kalakasan na meron ng ating Panginoon. So that's why I'm here. And also, I would like to this testimony so that each one of you know the background to the story. Even those who are watching online, this is for the benefit of everyone and para hindi rin ako paulit-ulit. So, I hope you're ready. Ready na ba kayo? Sino may dalang panyo? May dala rin ako. So, okay. So, as you know, Jennifer had this battle with her condition. And it started from day 1, which is September 27. Tagal na, no? Ano na, more than 1 month na. So, on that day, she had angioplasty. It's for to remove the blocked artery somewhere sa kanyang pelvic area. Kasi ang kanya pong condition is she has a endometriosis and adenomyosis. It's like okay, I have a slide nearby. So, but for this is like part 1 or before the actual surgery. Kailangan ipabukahin ng konti yung artery so that yung kanyang pagdaloy na kanyang dugo ay maayos, especially pag may monthly period siya. So this one is preparation so that the next coming surgery will be good. And it's a same day outpatient treatment in a private hospital in PJ. So in the next day, September 28th, is a holiday in Malaysia, and she was admitted. So same day lang yung una, no, yung angioplasty. Then the next day, nasa hospital kami for the preparation of yung laparoscopic surgery on the 29th. So again, ito yung endometriosis, a condition with the cells similar to the lining of the uterus or endometrium grow outside the uterus. And adenomyosis, the lining of your uterus grows into your uterine wall, causing the uterus to enlarge. So ito pong condition na to, minsan hindi lang siya confined to the uterus. It may impact other nearby organs like the bowel and other nearby or what you call intestines. Sa Pilipinas, more intestines than bowel. So day 3 is the actual surgery. It's laparoscopic myomectomy. So it's different from hysterectomy. Alam niyo ba ang hysterectomy? Hysterectomy is the removal of the uterus sa mga babae. But this myomectomy is just removal ng mga, like, I think what you call fibroids dun sa uterus and nearby na organs niya. And it went from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Parang ang tagal, no? When she was brought out, ang tagal. One of the hardest things is really to wait, right? Sometimes you wait and you're doing nothing, but at the same time it's really hard to wait for something. So 10 a.m. hanggang almost 5 p.m. binalik siya sa kwarto. So it may be that she was preparing, they were preparing her 10 a.m. to 11 to 12. So the actual surgery may be shorter than that. Yun nga lang, pag alis ng room and pagbalik sa room, yun ang duration. Hindi kasi ako pinasama sa OT. In the Philippines, we call it OR, operating room. But here, it's OT or operating theater. So that was done on 29th. So that was a Friday, no? Then day 4, day 5. Remember, nag-visit kayo? But unfortunately, Jennifer was not able to talk to you because even though tapos na yung surgery, there's something na hindi maganda sa kanya. That was October 1st. And then this is the time, October 2, that Jennifer really is feeling something that's wrong. So she told me, Han, hindi na natin kaya to. Tumawag ka na ng backup. So I called the prayer warriors. Naturingan nga nagpapastor, hindi nanghihingi agad ng ano. So ganyan tayo minsan sa problema natin eh. We hold on or we rely on our own understanding. Parang kaya pa natin to eh. But there comes really a time, o kahit sa simula pa lang, kailangan humingi na tayo agad ng tulong. And especially sa mga cell group or what we call discipleship group or Bible study, minsan we have some members who don't attend if they have a problem. When you have a problem, the cell group or discipleship group is the first thing that you should think of. Dapat yun ang una mong pupuntahan for prayer. Yung iba kasi, ayoko umattend kasi ayoko mag-share ng problema ko. But this is where our prayers are, we get help for prayers. So tinawagan ko si Pearly. When we were starting to be Christians here in Malaysia, si Pearly po ang aming cell group leader. And she's one of the first that I messaged. And it happens that she's part of the 6:30 a.m. prayer group. So it started a chain of sending to other people. I will also send a message to Joanne, who is the general manager of Grace PJ. Of course, our main close friends here, Brother Jigs, Sis M, Sis Marinel, Brother Chris, Brother Anba, and Sis Chean, RC. So that's the main persons that I want to. So sila po yung unang-una. And so ayun po, the day 2, she really felt something is not right. But on October 4, she was discharged from the hospital. She's not yet pain-free. But maybe the doctors is not putting a great weight on what she's... Kasi sabi ni Jen eh, ako yung nakakaramdam eh, hindi naman sila eh. But she's feeling that something really is not right with her body after the surgery. But we were advised to be discharged kasi sabi ng OB, pwede namang ma-discharge na. And it's a doctor's recommendation. It's not like kami yung nagsabi na gusto namin ma-discharge. I think one of her consideration, hindi kami her consideration is naubos na yung aming limit ng insurance. So ang insurance po, merong AXA, AXA, merong AI. Sa amin po AIA, we had 75,000 limit. So again, ang health insurance po may limit. And we used up when we were staying there. So the OB recommended that you can also do the treatment at home. Just bring the antibiotics, take it at home, and then it's the same thing as being in the hospital. So that was the thinking of the OB-GYN. So na-discharge po siya ng hospital on October 4th. So so we went home October 4th. And then sinundo po kami nila Sis Girly, Sis Nina. And we are reminded dito po, we should really fight with God's might, not on our own. Minsan kasi we don't see the gravity of the situation. Or kahit siguro minsan yung mga hindi dati iniisip na napaka-risky, we should still pray. We should still always pray. And if the going gets tough, sabi nga sa Marines, the tough gets going. But when the going gets tough, we ask God for help. So, kailangan po talaga natin ang prayer. Napakalakas po ng prayer. Huwag po nating maliitin ang nagagawa ng prayer. Kasi pag binamaliit natin ang prayer, maliit din ang nakikita natin na resulta. We should not limit our God. Our God is unlimited. As I've said, yung insurance, limited dyan eh. Yung insurance namin for the whole year was 75K. Ibig sabihin, naubos. Parang ganun-ganun lang. But our God is unlimited. Let's not put a limit on what God can do, on what our prayers can do. So we should fight our spiritual battle with God's might. So day 5, nag-check is her check-up pabalik sa hospital. It's around noon, and di na makabalik kasi masama pa pakiramdam niya. We were supposed to be there around 2 p.m., but she's not feeling well. So we stayed at home 3 p.m., 4 p.m., 5 p.m. until around 6 something. She went to the toilet. She felt something ruptured inside her. I think she felt something popped. And she was screaming that, I cannot take this pain. Get me an ambulance. And I tried the ambulance 5 times. And once I get the ringtone, nawawala pag sa ambulance na. And at that time also, I asked Brother Jig to pick us up. And he came and brought us to the ER, emergency room ng hospital. We were not able to go to the scheduled follow-up checkup. Diretso na kami sa emergency. And in the emergency, tiningnan siya ng OB, and the OB was downplaying the situation. She was just like, ano ba ang kinain niya? What did she eat? I said, tofu and quinoa. And she said, that will make her bloat, that's why. But her pain really is very, very painful. That she said it's 1 to 10 is a rating of 13. But the OB-GYN, the plan, her plan is, bigyan lang ng painkiller, and then you may go. Just observe. So, we were there, no oras ba? 9, 10, 11, 12, and I asked the ER doctor, what's your plan? Ano bang plano nyo? Kasi yung asawa ko, she's in pain, and she's vomiting like enzymes or laway or saliva coming from her stomach. And the doctor said, that's what the specialist said, to give the painkiller. And that's to monitor, and then you can go home. So, I told him, there's no way I'm going home with my wife in that condition. And he was compassionate enough to say that you have the option of going for second opinion. And he recommended the 3 hospitals, Hospital KL, Sungay Bulo, and University Hospital. Sungay Bulo is a bit far, and UM is the nearest one, but I don't think the track record is that good. So we went to Hospital KL. And from there, she was admitted to the ER, and immediately the surgeons knew that something really was wrong. The same CT scan from the hospital, private hospital, to the government hospital, I gave to them, and they say, oh, there's something really wrong, because there's some, you can see from the result, I'm not a medical person. So that surgeon has a scheduled surgery for his patient, but he said, this patient can wait. But this case really is so severe, we have to operate on her now. So thank God para bigyan niya ng wisdom ang surgeon para unahin si Jennifer. Even though he has a scheduled one, pinauna niya si Jennifer. So we went there. Actually, from that private hospital to the government hospital, we used an ambulance. But before that, I also called Sis Marinel and Brother Chris to accompany us. So eventually, Brother Chris had to go home. Kasama ko si Marinel sa ambulance. And even in the ER, she was there. And she was also saying na, Pas, umiyak ka din naman paminsan-minsan. Kailangan ilabas ko rin yung emotion. But I was stilly outside. I have this still, parang bakal ang labas ko. And we waited for her, and then she was transferred to the OT or the operating theater. Nung paglipat sa kanya doon, Marinel waited with me in the a waiting area for relatives. And around 9 a.m., she went home. I just waited for her to come home. Then at that time, I went back at the back rows. Then all the emotion came flooding down. Doon ko na binuhos lahat. Sabi lang ni Marinel, hindi ako umiiyak. But I did. Pumunta lang ako sa likod. Doon ko binuhos lahat. 2 oras, 3 oras. And I was praying, God, please, gawin mo lahat para kay Jen. So it was a long wait. Pinasok siya ng 6 a.m., no? Sa OT. And there's a monitor outside the OT where you can see Jennifer, Santiago, tas mga ibang patient. Is it in progress? Is it under recovery? There's one is being called. So it's around 10 patients I can see. So from 6 a.m., I go back 7, 8, 9, or every hour, or after nung afternoon, every 10 minutes, every 15 minutes, it's still in progress. It's still in progress. So from 6 a.m. to 4 a.m., 4 p.m., in progress. It only changed 4:15 into post-anesthesia care. So, but eventually, I knew of this only like 2 days after. Actually, the actual operation was 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. It's just that the updating of the monitor is manual. So hindi pala nila na-update. Parang pag pupunta ako, nakalagay in progress. But actual operation lasted around 4 hours, 8 to 12 p.m. So of course, daily I have this updates then with Sister Pearly, Sis Joanne, Pastor Janet, all this from the Grace PJ main, and of course the main leaders here. I was given occasional updates. So after that, hindi ko pala na-update to. Okay. So October 6 is the ambulance, and so after her operation, she was transferred to ICU. So yun ang nakakagulat. Usually, if you're from surgery, you will be brought to the recovery room. But no, her case is different. She went into the ICU. If you hear the letters I, C, U, medyo kabahan ka na. It means intensive care unit. So doon ko lang na first time na-grasp yung gravity ng situation. Akala ko, okay, it's another surgery which is risky in itself, but if you go from surgery to ICU, something really risky is happening. And only later, I was briefed of the situation. Mahirap din kasi magtanong kasi parang sa Pilipinas, pag magtatanong ako, halimbawa sa isang staff or two, may I know the status? Tapos magmamalay sila. Sabi ko, English please. Parang, abang, tolong saya, parang takot na sila eh. Usually, nagmamalay language lang sila. But minsan, limited yung information nila, plus, hindi pa rin sila willing mag-English, yung iba. Hindi naman lahat, no? Yung iba lang. And I was thankful that I was able to talk to one of the ICU doctors. His name is Daniel. Parang, Daniel pa lang, wow. Parang ano na ako, no? Must be a believer. And true enough, yes, sa pagsasalita pa lang niya, iniisip, I was asking many questions. I said, I'm not God, only God can predict what will happen. And he was straight to the point. Walang paligoy-ligoy pa. He was telling me all the things. And somehow, I was being comforted. Because totoo yung kausap mo eh. He was painting the picture very vividly. There's no beating around the bush. This is what it is. This is what to expect. Sabi niya, she had a kidney failure. Because what happened in the first operation, the laparoscopic surgery in the private hospital is, there was an injured bowel or injured intestine. So over the next few days, hindi agad-agad eh, nag-rupture yung kanyang bituka or intestine, which required her to have open surgery. So yung una laparoscopic, which is just two or three small holes in the private hospital, but in the government hospital, they just open it from top here. So kailangan kasi linisin eh. They said that they took out 800 ml to 1 liter of fecal matter dahil nag-rupture na yung kanyang bituka. And the worst thing is, it caused sepsis. Sepsis is a life-threatening disease or sickness. And there are 3 levels: sepsis, severe sepsis, and septic shock. Ang nakuha niya dyan is septic shock. And he said that this caused many other problems. Nagkaroon siya ng kidney failure. Because if you have sepsis, it's like no-overwhelm yung white blood cells sa yung dugo. And there's masyadong maraming kalaban ang mga bacteria or virus na hindi niya kayang labanan. So the flow of the blood is not flowing properly. It's like leaking. Kumbaga sa nawasa, hindi na pumupunta sa gripo mo, but doon na mismo sa mga tubo-tubo, doon tumatagas ang dugo. So, since the blood is leaking, the organs will not get the oxygen and the nutrients that it needs. Kailangan kasi yun ang purpose kung ba't dumadaloy ang dugo natin eh. And so, it so happens that the kidney did not receive these nutrients from the blood, and she had kidney failure. The doctor also said that she had a silent heart attack. Not a major one, but I don't know why they term it. So it's not really a major heart attack, but a silent heart attack. And of course, the septic shock. And they had to medically induce her into coma. And so bago siya pumunta actually sa ICU, inabangan ko siya sa OT. They said that you cannot visit or you cannot go and see the patient. But from the OT to the ICU is a corridor or a hallway. Inabangan ko siya. Sabi kasi nung isang nakausap ko, lalabas na daw 8 p.m. 9 p.m. nandun pa rin. 10 p.m., 11, 12 p.m. hanggang 1 a.m. hindi talaga umalis sa hospital. Even Dato Kwame and Dati Coxwan were there. They advised me, just go home and take a rest. But somehow I wanted to be physically. I want somehow for her to feel my presence. I want she's medically induced, into coma, but I just want her to like feel my presence na nandun ako kahit na hindi siya aware na nandun ako. So I waited, and around 1 a.m., dinaan na siya sa ICU. But they said they will allow me to see her. Pero they would have to fix her first. Kailangan ayusin siya. Ang daming nilagay sa kanya eh. I counted all the drug. There's a IV or 7. May mga drugs na nilalagay sa kanya so that she will be of course ang sinasabi natin is ito yung bumubuhay sa kanya, no? But no, God is the one who gives us life. Ginagamit lang po ito para ma-preserve ang kanyang buhay, but it is God who really controls everything. So ang dami niya nakapasa sa kanya, and that was the first day. May nagtatanong nga sa akin, kumuha ka ba ng picture? These are some memories that I will take only on my memory. Sa akin na lang. Hindi ko na kailangan picturean pa. It's for my own memory. So, of course, ang sabi rin Dr. Daniel is, sabi ko, Doc, so mukhang okay na, di ba? Sabi niya, as long as nasa ICU, just be prepared. Anything can happen. It can turn from good to bad to worse within 1 day o kahit within 1 hour. Pwede mangyari. Anything can happen. You can talk to her maybe with this day, the next hour, this hour, the next hour, di mo na malalaman. And the visiting hours is 4:30 to 6:30 only. So hindi ko siya pwedeng masamahan. But thank God, pwedeng bumisita because usually some ICUs, you really cannot enter. So sabi niya is just keep your phone open, phone nearby. And actually the next day, I had a missed call. Kinabahan ako. Wow. Lord, parang feel ko ang presence na okay naman eh. Wala. I didn't feel something is wrong. I have this, I don't know, I have this peace within me na hindi, walang ano to. But I called the number. Kaya lang trunk line. I told the person that I have a missed call from this number. Kaya lang trunk line eh. So hindi mo makausap, hindi mo alam kung sino. So I dropped the phone. And then, alam ko na, tatawagan ko sa ICU. Then I called the ICU, and then they said, call this other number, like 522 or something. I was thinking, wala na siya sa ICU. And deep breath, call, dial, tawag uli, please connect me to 522 or some number. Yun pala isang number pa sa ICU. Ang sinasabi lang is, you need to pay a certain amount dahil ganito na ang bill. But what a sigh of relief. Kasi pag problema mo ay pera lang yan eh. Pwede masolusyonan yan eh. But the life, talaga ang health, napaka-importante yan. So I said, nagbigay ako ng deposit na. But their policy is, if you go to the ER, you pay a deposit. Go to the surgery, pay a deposit. Go to ICU, pay a deposit. Go to ward, pay a deposit. And for non-locals, it's a bit pricey. So 2,800 para sa non-locals. But for locals, maliit lang. The healthcare here is good for the locals. Anyway, so ganun, I'm really on edge around those days. But thank God, okay lang, Bill. And I would like to thank also those who have offered yung hindi lang prayers, no, but financial assistance sa amin. Marami dito. I will not mention you by name, but some of you have given. Even, alam ko yung mga perang yun is hindi rin extra, no? At nagpapasalamat kami sa pag-share nyo sa amin. I know na hindi kayo ganun karami ang kinikita nyo, but for those who did, we're really thankful. And maging yung sa mga, those who are from Grace PJ, SS1 cell group, SS23 cell group, 6:30 a.m. Prayer group. We are really thankful, and many others. Actually, some of those we don't even know. Hindi namin kilala. But they were willing to offer prayers for us and even share financially. Uh, so, it eases my burden. Kasi mahirap ang inisip mo ang health, ang inisip mo ay pambayad. So, thank God for all of you. We don't know all of you, but thank you for sending your help. So, October 8th, this is the second day in the ICU. Actually, we were in the main sanctuary. And of course, Pastor Kumar and the other pastors knew. And then before the service started, sabi niya, let me call on Joel. Joel? And I was thinking, oh, ayoko nito. I know that they will pray over me. I know that they will lay hands on me. For someone who preaches, I don't like the public setting. For you may not notice, but I am really an introvert. I mask it with humor and everything, but I'm really introvert. I wanted to keep this as private as possible, but of course they called me in front, laid hands over me and Eliza. We were there, so well, actually, it was a good thing that they prayed for us. Because walang breakthrough kapag walang prayer. Breakthrough comes with prayer. And with all the pastors, all the congregation laying their hands on us. So yun yung it was really a good thing that it was done para for prayer. And of course, the others who knew us, they also knew of the situation. Kasi nasa unahan, and then, si Joel to, we were with him in Alpha, so they knew us, and then more prayers and more financial help then. So in the second day of ICU, actually, she had an improvement. She can move her lips. Actually, she was intubated, but she can move her lips. Of course, she cannot speak a word, but she can move her lips on the second day, although she is still intubated. And on the first day, she can move her finger. On the second day, she can move her hand. So praise God. Salamat talaga sa prayer, no? And she also has no fever at that time. First day in the ICU, she has fever. Second day, she has no longer has fever. And then that 7 drugs that were attached to her, parang naging 4 na lang or isa. So mas kumonti na. So actually, it was needed for her blood pressure not to go down dangerously. So naging okay naman na regulate ng kanyang blood pressure. So isa-isa binabawasan nila yung drugs that were attached to her. And at this time also, number 1 is the prayer ng congregation. Number 2 is the 24-hour prayer chain or prayer watch. It means that from 10 p.m. ng Sunday up to 10 p.m. the next day, someone was praying for Jennifer and us. So Pearlie was part of that prayer group. And she said, from my experience, this is the only time that people will really volunteering. Because sometimes 3 a.m. or 4 a.m., it is not being filled up, or 2 a.m. Parang ayoko mag-pray. Magigising ako, tapos mag-pray lang ako. At hindi ko pa kilala yung tao. But this one is different. Even though those people that do not know us personally, they volunteered to take the 2 a.m. slot, 3 a.m. slot, 4 a.m. slot. So from 10 p.m. onwards, 24 hours, someone was praying for Jennifer. So again, thank you for all those part of the prayer group and who participated in this prayer chain. So, but she was still medically induced with coma kasi so that she will not feel the pain and all those things. Day 13, or October 9, is the third day in the ICU. And Pastor Lylene visited Jennifer. She's the wife of Pastor Stancil, our good friend from before. Bless his soul. So, on this third day, the intubation or the ventilator was removed. So she can breathe on her own. This is the third day. So after being prayed upon in the English service and during the 24-hour chain, andun yung breakthrough eh. Nakita natin on the third day, okay na, wala na siyang intubation. She can breathe on her own. She can speak, but only a few words. So, yung sabi ko kanina, 7 different drugs attached to her. Now it's only one. Talagang she's really on the road to recovery. And they said that the kidney she had the kidney failure. It is now a little better. So the creatinine level is now going to the normal level, and that she didn't need to have a dialysis. So napaka-importante po niya kasi dialysis, it is a weekly or twice a week thing. So thank God na even though there's a temporary failure, it need not really need to be permanently that damage. That thank God for that. So yeah, she was able to speak a few words, and I'll never forget that day. She was able to say words that actually every day I hear from her, but sometimes I take it for granted. For the first time in a long while, she said, "I love you." Kinilig ako doon. For the first time since we were boyfriend, girlfriend, talagang ninanamnam mo yun eh. When you say, "I love you." But then being a couple, it's not as impactful. But that was the time that, thank God, I can hear my wife say those 3 words. And every day I was bargaining with God. So, Lord, please take care of Jennifer. Sabi sa inyo, magpanyo kayo eh. So thank God, she's really recovering. Even the ICU nurse said that next time you visit, you will visit her in the ward. So that was great. So she spent around 3 days in the ICU. So in the October 10th, she was transferred to the ICU. So thank God, no? Yun ang iniisip. That's the primary prayer for her to get out of the ICU in better health. So she was transferred to a normal ward, and her kidney continues to improve, and the creatinine previously is around 233, is around 120. Ang normal po is 90 to 100. So from 233, is now down to around 120. So it's getting back to normal. And she has this NG tube, which we call nasogastric tube, from her nostril down to her stomach. And yun po, tinanggal na rin yun. So she will be allowed to eat again. Makakakain na po siya. Because it's been around 5 days na hindi po siya nakakain because of the surgery in the ICU. So thank God for hearing our prayers. So day 2 is the October 11. October 12 is a third day in the ward. The ward is like a 40-bedded ward. Alas 12 na. Gusto niyo ba mag-stop? So it's a 40-bedded ward. in a government hospital. So you can just imagine the staff, the nurse to patient ratio is that hindi ganun karami yung nurses. So minsan hindi siya nabibigyan ng care. And during that time in the ward, in the 40-bedded ward, this is the time na she was, gising na siya gising na yung diwa niya She was no longer in a coma. And emotionally speaking, she was really down. For us who were praying for her, yes, she's out of the ICU. But for her, she now has, nakapag-isip-isip na siya Pag sa ICU kasi, ano ka lang you're in coma. But then she will realize what's happened to her. I don't know if she's thinking of the bills or her health. But this is the time that she was down emotionally. And one of the prayers I asked for the prayer team is that for her to be comforted by God. Because even Moses, when he was leading the Israelites out of Egypt, he said, as long as your presence is with us, we will go. But if your presence is not with us, hindi ko magagawa to. Kasi he was leading around 700,000 men, or like 2 million plus the children and the wives. So we ask God to be with her, to comfort her. But sometimes it really is difficult in a government hospital. And minsan hindi siya nabibigyan ng care that we wanted her to receive. Sometimes the nurses can be like, it's not all the nurses, It can be like 3 nurses out of the 1,000 nurses. They are just like checking a checklist. Like, for example, 10 a.m., wash or clean the patient, or 12 p.m., feed the patient, but there's no compassion. Just like, it's like they have this checklist that they have to do at work. And sometimes her bag may be leaking in the bed, and they will not do it unto the next. Kasi, halimbawa, 10 a.m. ang schedule, 10 a.m. na nila lilinisan, which is really not good for her, mentally, emotionally also. So she was really begging me. Sabi niya sa akin, ialis mo na ako dito. I want to go out of here. So I talked to the doctor in charge. By the way, the doctor you talk to this day is a different doctor from the next day. Kasi malaking hospital, ang daming in charge na doctors. So I asked the doctor, can we just go into the private hospital? But the doctor said, usually, if there's a complication with the surgery or anything, from a private, another private hospital will not entertain. Hindi kayo papayagan. Only a government hospital will take in a complication from a surgery of a private hospital. So, sabi ko, paano na yan? Parang hindi rin, we wanted to go to Kalanajaya Medical Hospital. But I said, wow, what can we do now? Because I wanted to be with her. And then the doctor said, oh, there's actually a private ward here in hospital care. I didn't know, hindi ko alam. So, sabi niya, pwede, I will book a slot for you in the private. Okay. But then, one of the conditions was that I have to pay the deposit. Okay, deposit. I paid 2,800 each time. But when I came to the cashier, from third class, what they call third class to a first class ward, you have to pay 11,000 as a foreigner. For locals, it's around 2,000 something. But as a foreigner, you have to pay 11K. So I told Jennifer, kailangan ng 11K. So kasabi mo si ganito, kasabi mo ganyan. And she was really holding on to me, and she was really emotionally down. So kailangan talaga niyang umalis doon. And even the cashier was discouraging me, huwag ka na lumipat kasi ang rate mo kapag lumipat ka, for example, if you are 3 weeks in third class and 1 week in the first class, the rate will be like 4 weeks for first class. Ganun ang ginano. Lahat ng computation ay first class na or private. So sabi ko sa niya, uuwi muna ako. And mukha lang po kaming mayaman, but we don't really have 11K na pwede namin pagkukunan anytime. So, I called 2 persons. Itago na lang natin sa pangalang, yung isa as pangalang Jimmy. Sabi ko kay Brother Jimmy, pwede bang utangin ko muna? I would like to maybe convert my peso into your ringgit. But he said, there's no need. Just pay me back in ringgit. So, Brother Jimmy, hindi ko sinabi pangalan mo ha. So, Brother Jimmy said that he can just transfer it without me giving him the peso. So good. So I'm still short, way short. But thank God for those who have, from Grace PJ, who have sent their financial aid, financial help to us, which is still a bit short. I still have my credit card though. And alam niyo na, ang medical insurances have a LIMIT limit, di ba? Credit card also has a limit. Of course, God is unlimited, no? So, credit card, it still will not be sufficient for me to pay the 11K. Even if I pay by credit card, plus my cash. So, I called another person, let's call her Sis Lily. So Sis Lily also sent money, and I was able to gather the amount. So umuwi muna ako saglit sa bahay, just took a bath, then went back to the hospital. That was Thursday night up to Friday morning. I did not sleep at all. So I told her, Jen, that I have the money. I will pay it as soon as the cashier opens to settle everything. And so yun, I had the 11K to as a deposit, and she was able to be moved into a private ward. So her countenance really was different kapag nasa private ward. It's not on really the comfort, the physical comfort, but it's more on yung treatment eh. If it's only a few nurses and you, or the ratio of the nurses to you is much higher, no? Mas kokonti ang pasyente, mas matututukan ng mga nurses. And papansinin ka. Kasi sometimes she has requests in the 40-bedded ward and they don't give the simple request to her. Pero pag nandun na sa private, they will give those simple requests. But she still has some issues with getting back her normal digestion of the food. Hanggang ngayon, so please pray for her. Minsan she has sleepless nights because of the digestive system not really being back to as it was before. So it was the October 13th that we were able to transfer to ward. And I can stay there. So yun ang difference. Pwede ko siyang ma-assist kung ano man ang kailangan niya. So she still cannot stand on her own, but at least and pwede na siyang, she can move better than in the 40-bedded ward. And also in the 40-bedded ward, there's a lot of patients. She even witnessed two to expire. So, napaka-traumatic po nun, no? Na katabi mo, the nurses are gathering around. You're having your issues yourself, but you see left, you see right, there's someone who is expiring. So, iba rin yung mental, hindi lang sa physical comfort eh. It's a mental, emotional thing when you transfer to a private one. And second day in the ward, October 14, and then 15. Oh, she spent around. Okay, on October 17th, the doctor said she can be discharged the next day. So on the next day, October 18th, so sabi ng doctor, you can discharge her. Okay. So I processed all the papers. I asked for the bill, and the bill came, and it says some of the items are in Malay, so you just want to know what's at the bottom, right? Gusto mo lang yung total, subtotal, 5K, 5,000. Saan ako kukuha ng 5,000? Nagbigay na ako ng 11,000 sa inyo. Gusto niyo pa ako magbigay ng 5,000. And Jennifer asked, magkano ang bill? 5,000. Saan ka kukuha niyan? I told her, mayaman, si Papa. We have a God who is rich, beyond rich, before we can ever imagine. Sinabi ko sa kanya yon, but deep inside, saan niya ako kukuha ng 5,000? I just told her, mayaman si Papa. God is rich. But I really don't know. But I went to the cashier, gave the papers. Napalunok pa nga ako. I would like to process this, her to be discharged. Okay. You have 5,000 credit. We will reimburse you the amount within 2 weeks. Sabi po sa Deuteronomy 28, you will lend to many and you will not borrow. Natatandaan nyo kay Brother Jimmy and kay Sis Lily, umutang ako. Ang sabi ni Lord, you should not be a borrower. You should not lend. Yung 5,000 na ibebalik sa akin ng hospital, yun yung amount na hiniram ko kay Brother Jimmy at kay Sis Lily. This is the same amount that I will give back to them. So sabi ng Diyos, hindi ka dapat nangungutang. You should not be a borrower. You can lend to many, but do not borrow. So praise God for provision. Hindi na sa healing, but for provision na yun. So I really like this quote from Charles Stanley. God takes full responsibility for the life wholly devoted to Him. We try to devote to God, of course. Yung holy, minsan, whole. But it's just God telling us that I will take responsibility sa'yo. Whatever happens to you, sagot kita. I will take care of you. I will take full responsibility. Kasi tatay siya eh. Tayo anak. He will take responsibility for that. So remember, our devotion should be only to God. Yung iba sa inyo, marami deboto ng kung ano-ano, kung sino-sino. I just hope that your devotion is to God and to God alone. Diyos Ama natin, Diyos Anak, Diyos Espiritu Santo. But hindi kung sino-sinong tao na sinasamba natin. So God is our healer. God is our provider.